video games.
Yeah, buddy. Daddy's got to pwn some noobs. And when he's done, we'll go make a Lego airplane. What's up, guys? It's me, Larry Legend, and bringing you some headquarters on radiation. Yeah, so I ended up going 34-9, so spoiler alert in case you guys thought you were going to see a 60-plus game for me. If you thought you were going to see that, then I suggest you go talk to a counselor about your drug addiction or your separation from reality, because you might not ever see one of those coming from me. So I'm using the FAMAS with Scavenger, Sleight of Hand, Marathon, running with a full team because it's no fun to play objectives without a full team, and that's my opinion on that. So yeah, but the point of this video is actually to talk about stats and Killwhoring and being an objective player and how you really can't separate, in a general manner, you can't separate those three from each other, to be honest. Now, as we all know, whether it's good or bad in Black Ops, you can check your opponent's stat records, which is why sometimes it takes me and my teammates forever to find matches. Sometimes because the guys on my team have, ridiculous KDs, but usually because we're all rocking a 5.0 win-loss. And to me, that's my personal opinion. That's the greatest achievement that I have. It could be because I have a 1.35 KD, so throwing lots of numbers out here. So you guys better have a notepad because we're talking stocks. We're talking numbers, all right? Accounting class 101. No, I'm just kidding. But no, there's been a bunch of videos and a bunch of thoughts and ideas and concepts that people have had about the different terminology, about, what a kill whore is, what an objective player is, and, kind of how that breaks down. So I'm going to do that for you. This is the end-all, be-all for the stats, for Killwhoring, for being an objective player. So first off, I'm going to talk about being an objective player. Now, for me, an objective player is someone that's always pushing to go for the objective, right? Now, when you're doing that, I don't personally expect to get a 3.0 KD. Are there games when it happens? Yes. But if you have, 7 captures in a headquarters, chances are that, you might have died a bit. Maybe not, and in my opinion, and how I play, I probably would. If I have 7 captures, I'm not pulling a 3 KD, and that's me. So, can you be an objective player and do well? Yes, you can. Now, that depends on your gun skill. Now, my gun skill is not the best, and maybe it's a little bit above average if you say a 1.0 KD is average, if that's how you're going to rate gun skill. That could be. It could not. Who knows, right? So, being an objective player is someone that's always pushing the objective, always going for the capture, always trying to do what they can to help their team get the W and capture the flag. You're the flag runner, right? Or you're guarding the flag runner. In domination, you're always, capping down points. Now, if you're running with a full team, it's usually not that difficult because you're going to cap 2 and just sit there and let them sit on the, the third flag or whatever you want to call it, and kind of defend and kill whore from that point on. And demolition. If you're not the person planting the bomb, are you still playing objectively? Well, yes, because you have to help that person plant the bomb, right? If you're on offense. If you're on defense, what's your whole goal? What is your objective? Your objective is to prevent them from planting the bomb, okay? So that's kind of how that boils down. Objective player should always have a much higher win-loss than a KD, in my opinion. That's because you're fulfilling a certain role on your team. Now, let's talk about Killwhoring. I think a lot of people have confused this role or combined this term with someone that plays the role of a slayer in a game. Okay? Now, when I go into a game, you can't win if you have everyone trying to plant the bomb in demolition. Okay? If everyone's trying to cap a point in headquarters, yes, you can win. Okay? Because you're going to get it done. But certain game types take certain roles, and you have to be able to fulfill that role. Now, when it comes to Killwhoring and, say, domination, what would the definition of a Killwhore be in domination? Someone who doesn't cap any flags, right? And they just sit back and snipe. Now, would you still consider that person a Killwhore if they're running UAV, Blackbird, and dogs? To me, I wouldn't, because that person's using 2 kill streaks that benefit the other team, and, well, three kill streaks in essence. I mean, the UAV is going to tell you where the other team is. The Blackbird is obviously going to tell you where all those ghost pros are sitting in corners, and the dogs, you know, they have a blind eye for justice. They just run around biting asses, you know. So that's how that works. And I think a lot of people have confused a Killwhore with a slayer. In objective game types, in order to be extremely successful, you have to have a slayer. That person is going to do exactly what I just said. They're going to run a Blackbird, or they're going to run a UAV, or they might run a counter UAV. But they're going to be running kill streaks that help the other team. Now, maybe they're not running a Blackbird, and they're running chopper gunner dogs and napalm strike, or, you know, rolling thunder, or whatever it may be. Again, that's all going to benefit your team. And you can have that role. You have to have that role. You have to have a slayer. Look at competitive gaming. Look at a GB game, okay? People are going to have roles in that game. They are going to be either A, the flag runner, you know, they're going to be running their lightweight marathon, or they're going to be running, God, who knows? They're going to be running a flak jacket and sleight of hand and hacker pro or something, okay? And they're going to sit back and slay. And their whole job is to keep the enemy away from the objective, so you, the teammate, the flag runner, or whatever it may be, can accomplish your job. It's all in a team effort, team-based. And that's the problem, I think, that I have with people just blatantly throwing around Killwhoring or anything like that. So, are there a lot of objective players in Black Ops in the objective game types? Not really, in my opinion. There really aren't. Because a lot of people are so worried about their stats. So, let's talk about some stats. You can check everyone's kill streaks, right? You can see how often they've used the RC car, 785 times. Or you can see how often someone runs a UAV, or a counter UAV, or a Blackbird, or whatever you want to, you know, whatever you want to call it. And I think that's beneficial to an extent. Like my buddy Verbal put in his video, when he's playing TDM, he can check their, you know, he can check his opponent's stats and see that he's running against a stacked team of people that have a 2.5 KD, and they're just, you know, obviously smashing the opposition. So why would you want to play in that lobby? I can understand that, but I wish for objective game types they didn't have that, because it makes it so hard for my team, or, you know, my friends. Maybe they're not playing with me at that time, but if they're out searching for a match, to find a match and play through an entire match, because they're, you know, out there trying to find a match, and the opponents are checking the combat rec, and they're like, oh, this guy's got a 5.0 win-loss and a 2.0 KD. I'm not playing. So boom, they drop out. I wish they'd show other stats. I wish they'd show how many times you captured a headquarters, or how many times you capped flags, because I think that would make the game more interesting, and it would at least give you, you know, 2 minutes to play the game before everyone rage quits, even before the match starts or when that countdown starts. So, you know, that's kind of my thought process behind stats. And KD, Killwhoring, and everything like that. And a lot of these stats, to be honest, my buddy Tino's said it best, and one of my buddy Seb's videos, you know, I'll link Seb's videos in here because it kind of got me thinking about it. But the stats don't matter until you play with that person. Okay, they really don't matter until you play with that person. So maybe they're, you know, an absolute monster, but they always play by themselves, and they're always playing TDM without a team, and not mercenary TDM, just regular TDM without a team, and they have a 1.5 KD and a 0.8 win-loss. But you put them in an objective game, and they're working using teamwork, and all of a sudden they're pulling, you know, 4.0 KDs. So one other thing I want to talk about is my buddy Deepak. He's a, you know, phenomenal player. I think I mentioned him before. He's been featured in one of Verbal's videos. Verbal did a little gameplay for him. But he had I think as a general statement, obviously it doesn't apply to everyone, but if you have a KD and a win-loss that even up to be a 5.0, then you're a pretty damn good player. Now, my buddy Seb, the goofy little smart-ass Canadian that he is, says, well, what if they have a 0.01 KD and a 4.99 win-loss? Well, I don't know if there's anyone out there like that. If there is, then I don't know how you do it. To be honest, you're playing with a full team and you're dying a lot. But regardless, I think that's a good way to even it out. So you got a 1.5 KD and a 3.5 win loss. That's pretty damn good. Or you have a 1 KD and a 4.0 win loss. So I think that's kind of a good general rule, rule of thumb or whatever to kind of balance that out. And that's my ideas on Killwhoring, being an objective player. Oh, Panic Knife for the win, and I finally do it. That's right. But yeah, that's my ideas. Leave your comments. Let me know if you agree with me, disagree with me, and if you think I'm sexy. No, I'm just kidding. All right, peace, fellas.